What's up, welcome back, Nowstalgia. Dave here with a review of Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, the sequel to Tim Burton's Beetlejuice from 1988. It's been 36 years since that surprise blockbuster film came out. The original Beetlejuice, of course, put Tim Burton on the mainstream map in a certain sense. His second film, featuring Michael Keaton, a young Winona Ryder, Alec Baldwin, Gina Davis, Catherine O'Hara, and on a $15 million budget, grossed $74 million back then, which would be almost $200 million today. Beetlejuice is a film that I think rightfully earned a Oscar for best makeup and hairstyling, and got a lot of love for its craft, particularly its costume design and its use of puppets and clever ways to produce the underworld and whatnot. And the sequel, Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, coming out so long, it's funny because this is a sequel that had been in development hell and in development stages basically the entire time we've been waiting. And it certainly makes sense that Beetlejuice Beetlejuice is finally here because the Legacy sequel, is a successful use of IP these days, right? And I think Beetlejuice Beetlejuice has a lot in common with some of the most successful aspects of the recent Ghostbusters reboots, Afterlife and Frozen Empire. It's really cool to see that Beetlejuice Beetlejuice is going to debut with over 100 million domestic this weekend and be the biggest film of the fall until Joker 2 comes out. Big part of that, of course, is the huge added value element of adding Jenna Ortega to this film, ingeniously being the daughter of Winona Ryder's character, taking one of the biggest Gen Z stars, period, in Ortega, between Wednesday on Netflix, also co-starring in the Scream films recently. She is a massive star, and this only further cements that status. I also think it helps that Winona Ryder's, career has re-jump started again later in life on the back of Stranger Things. It's honestly coming at a great time. And thankfully, I thought Beetlejuice Beetlejuice was quite successful. I think as far as legacy sequels go, there's always going to be safe elements, perhaps craven elements of, oh, look at the reference and look at the obvious homage and nostalgia play and whatnot. And of course that's here. And of course, if you're a fan of the original movie, that will make you feel good. But I think Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, just for what it is, honestly works really well. The addition of Jenna Ortega fits the series like a glove. I think she's really great in the movie. Michael Keaton's Beetlejuice is once again underutilized, just like the original film. There's some superfluous elements to the movie, like Monica Bellucci's entire character, even Willem Dafoe. But I think just broadly speaking, I really just enjoyed the ride. I thought it was a lot of fun. The framing of the whole film, I think, is quite clever and quite similar to Ghostbusters Afterlife, again, in the sense that going back to the old house, the original house, in the fictional Connecticut town that the original movie takes place in, a great example to, get the gang back together, get back to things, see the model up in the attic, things like that. The film does a good job early on of establishing the strange dynamic between Ryder and Ortega. I also really enjoyed the idea of taking Ryder's Lydia character and having her actually become, a small celebrity and have a ghost show in adulthood. And she's soon engaged to her producer, played by Justin Theroux. And Theroux, of course, a newcomer to the series, he does a great job of being this unbearable presence throughout the movie, and a lot of source of good humor as well. I mentioned Monica Bellucci before, who plays the ex-girlfriend of Beetlejuice. And this is a character that really exists only as a plot device and has really nothing to it at all. It did not have to be in the movie in the slightest sense. Of course, Tim Burton and Bellucci's real-life relationship perhaps factored into some of this. Similarly, Jenna Ortega's character, I think, kind of cleverly gets matched up with this potential love interest who eventually realizes actually a ghost. And I think these two elements right here remind me a lot of the second Ghostbusters reboot, which of course was less successful as a film, in the sense that the bad guy in Frozen Empire is very much like Monica Bellucci's character. Shows up in the last 10 minutes, nothing really happens, you don't really care about it. And then another romantic subplot regarding dating a ghost. I actually think if we spent more time leaning into Ortega's fraught predicament when the ghost tries to fuck her over and take her life and have them trade places, I think we could have used more time with that, because he's also kind of dispatched of quite quickly at the conclusion of the film. Nonetheless, I think the zaniness, the kind of uniqueness of the original Beetlejuice, that spirit is still here, even if perhaps this film's a bit sanded down. Of course, Beetlejuice is pretty crass. You could say almost non-PC in the original movie. Nothing super overt, but that's part of his personality and character, and that's still here in this film. Um, it was actually probably more present than I was expecting. Willem Dafoe is pretty funny as this ghost actor playing a police commissioner, police detective. He's really fun in the movie, but also pretty superfluous, not really that important. But overall, I think the afterlife stuff works pretty good. Catherine O'Hara is fun to be back with again. She has, I think, a nice, fun supporting role in the film. I couldn't help but notice that Burn Gorman plays a small role as the preacher, the priest in town, just because he had a really small role on Game of Thrones. That's pretty memorable in the early seasons. I was like, "What? This guy of all people is the friar?" Funny enough. But yeah, Beetlejuice. Like, I think it's this great confirmation of Jenna Ortega's star power. Honestly, like her bluntness, her side eyes, her trite mannerisms and whatnot. It's on full display in this movie. I think she's really great. She's a really charismatic young actor. Of course, it'd be quite exciting to see her outside of some IP stuff. Wednesday, Scream, Beetlejuice 2. She hasn't done anything super big that's been original, but I'm sure those are that's cooking, because she is pretty talented as well as being super famous. So more to come there. Also, would not be super shocked if they kick the tires on Beetlejuice 3, to be honest. It kind of makes sense. Beetlejuice, 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 the actual chant being the title of the third and final film. We'll see how well this movie does. It's probably going to be more of a domestic play at the box office. Not going to be quite as big overseas. Again, kind of like Ghostbusters. So we'll see. But yeah, let me know. What did you think of Beetlejuice Beetlejuice? Did you think it was a successful legacy sequel like me? Let me know. And for more movie reviews, subscribe. And I'll see you next time.